Hey guys, I talked to ASCC President Miles Aiello today. He kind of highlighted a few things for me. It was a really nice, engaging interview, so I suggest that you watch or listen rather to the whole thing down below. There's a full podcast down there, but in case you're kind of lazy, I kind of orchestrated a highlight reel for you guys. So here's some of the stuff that happened during today's interview.
Um, it's definitely hands down the hardest thing I've ever had to do in my life. The amount of time that is required to be student body president is mind-boggling, and I don't think anybody, no matter how much you talk to them and try to prepare them, they'll ever be ready. Just for the fact that you have to set that priority of your academics coming first. And that's why we're all here, to be successful, educated students. However, that becomes interestingly hard because there's the guilt trip of not being there for students, or not being able to examine the budget thoroughly, or not being at certain school events, because you have to work and you got to pay car insurance and you got to do all that other academic stuff. So I think one of the ways I manage it are really being OCD about my scheduling, and self-discipline every night, knowing what I have planned for the next day. And I think also it's having people to talk to that you're close to. If you walk around campus, how many people actually utilize the game room? And is it benefiting a good amount of students? Because ultimately, whatever issue we're examining, we're always asking ourselves, hey, is this benefiting a large amount of students? Like, how many students will benefit from this? How many can get involved? And it was brought up by some commissioners and senators that the game room was not doing its job. And also there was the budgetary concerns. The game room loses $60,000 a year. Roots of Sustainability is a campaign that we have for the rest of the year. In that campaign, we named it the Roots of Sustainability, the Go Green Task Force, because in essence, this is the first time that students at Cerritos College are vigorously attacking sustainability from different angles, and not just trying to incorporate a recycling program, but we're not only have 1 or 2 goals, we have 6. And so the reason we gave it the Roots of Sustainability is because we are laying the roots into the ground, and we're planting, and we are helping create this foundation of sustainability that the future student leaders of Cerritos College can continue to build on and help those roots blossom into an amazing tree. In my speech, I mentioned a suicide statistic that Huffington Post established, and I forget it verbatim, but off the top of my head, it said something like, in the year 2013, in the months of November and December, there were like 150 more suicide deaths by soldiers than there were actual combat deaths. I remember saying that and looking out into the audience and seeing this one woman, just swipe a tear off her cheek. Well, that same woman came up to me after the event, and she said, bawling. She was bawling, tears in her eye. And she said, I just want to thank you for mentioning that in your speech. My husband committed suicide last year in Afghanistan. So, and she doesn't even go to Cerritos College. So, we set the bar.